Hey everybody, welcome to the infinite regression. Oh man, what an infinite regression you find yourself in. It's so infinite, it just regresses. I guess that's how those things go. But don't you worry about it. We got video games here. Today we're going to be talking about a video game that admittedly is not my kind of game. I will tell you that from the start. So go into this knowing that I did not buy this game for myself, and I don't like this style of game to begin with. So these are the handicaps with which we are approaching this review. The game is One Wish, comes to us from GD Nomad Games, and yeah, it's a thing. It's You can't say it's not a thing because it is a thing. It's on Steam. You can purchase it for $5. You can probably get it for cheaper than that if you buy it when it goes on sale. I assume it does. I don't care that it does because okay. Look, maybe I need to play games like this longer. Maybe I need to get a better feel for it. Maybe I need to really solve some puzzles and figure some things out. Or alternately, maybe I just don't like this style of game because okay, you do a lot of wandering around, clicking on the very few things that you can click on. Eventually, you're going to find a red tentacle monster that apparently sucks your soul out. But what happens when your soul gets sucked out? You just wake up in the same bed where you started. You just got to do the same stuff all over again. Yeah, and so you're in this gray, bleak place. And here's the thing. I think a lot of people think that persons like myself do not like this sort of survival horror, psychological horror kind of games because we are wimps and wussies and can't handle being scared. No, sir. That is not it. I think what it is that some of these things are just so poorly done. And this one is very poorly done. This game is just a nothing burger of nothing. It honestly, you're going to find three different keys so you can finally get into this room. And what do you find in there? A dead body. And it's yeah, I've played first person shooters where I see hundreds of those per minute, you know? It is nothing to me to see a dead body in a video game. And sure, yeah, you know, people in Congress can be see, it desensitizes people. It makes them, not feel the value of human life. Bullcrap. Uh, you know, I play Pac-Man. Doesn't make me want to eat a lot of power pellets, you know? didn't make me want to eat Pac-Man cereal because that actually existed and it was gross. My grandmother purchased it because she was like, "Oh, the grandkids are coming to visit. They probably want." Oh, look, it's cereal based on that video game that they like. Let's buy that. Won't that be great for the kids? And yeah, she bought it and it was awful. We could not bring ourselves to eat it, and our mother was like, "You need to eat this cereal. Grandmama bought it for you. It was very expensive." And we were like, "Yeah, it tastes like cardboard coated in a light honey glaze, but old cardboard, like cardboard from the 60s." Anyway, so it was bad. And that's the thing. When something is badly done, you know it, you feel it in your bones. That's what it is. And the reason I don't like this entire genre is because, it's really a DM dick move that I pulled on my entire party when I was DMing D&D earlier this year. I started them out in prison, and I was like, "Haha, you're in prison, and you don't even know why." And they're like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah, your memories have been altered." And they were like, what? But we are friends. And I'm like, no, you're not. You don't even know each other right now. And all your stuff is taken away and you're locked inside of a cell. So how are you going to deal with that? You know? And for DMing, that can make things pretty fun depending on how your party approaches problem solving. But in D&D, you have potentially limitless choices. You could try to seduce a guard. You could try and lure a guard over and then like grab him by the throat and force him to give you the keys, or just potentially just murder him and take his keys. You know, there's all sorts of ways that you can approach it, and depending on who your characters are, depending on the choices that they want to make. And by the way, they came up with some things that I would not have predicted, and that's the fun of playing in an open world environment. Even when you have your things taken away, you still have choices. But I feel in the survival horror genre, too often it is the case that you're like running around, you got a gun with only 3 bullets, right? And you got to, you know, face off something that if you run into it, it will, you know, eliminate you in one hit. And you just have to start all over again. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like just being like, ooh, use your resources well, and you're just gonna die a whole bunch because the whole game is built around limited resources. That doesn't appeal to me as a player. I would rather have more resources and more choices in how to use them creatively in order to approach a problem. So this is my problem with the entire survival horror genre. And this goes back to, you know, the very first Resident Evil game, which I played on the PlayStation 1. I have an original copy of it, a non greatest hits, you know, black label copy of it. And, you know, so it's worth a little bit of money these days. Do I like that game? No. Do I play it? No. Did my son make noises in the background? Yes. But here's the other thing is that, like, I am a collector first and foremost, and so I'm not going to get rid of my game even though I don't like it. And yeah, all of that. It's a reminder that, like, hey, you don't like this stuff. So yeah, maybe somebody else playing this game would enjoy it. But the whole thing where, like, okay, so the first time I was like, that's a tentacle monster. It will probably kill me. Let's find out what happens when I die. Literally nothing. Just the thing comes after you, touches you, and then you're back in bed. That's not scary, first of all. That is not scary. It's pretty dumb. It's really dumb. I think it's unbearably dumb. And so, yeah, that is a problem, number one. And then number two is that the second time through that same area, I just I saw the red tentacle monster and I didn't go in that room. And then when I came back to that room, the red tentacle monster was gone. So all I have to do is just not, like, look at that room but not go in. That's my game plan for the rest of this game, is just walking around boring hallways, picking up teeny tiny keys that are some of the only things I can click on because my options are severely limited. And this is supposed to be fun gameplay. No, give me a game where I can do stuff. You know, why do you think I enjoy so many open world sandboxy games? Like, my whole problem with the psychological horror, survival horror genre is that, like, often there's one solution and one solution only. And you can just look up a guide and then do it that way. You know, whereas in an open world sandbox, like, look, here's my new favorite thing that I decided to do is I had in No Man's Sky, I had a mission where I had to defeat all the waves of the Sentinels until the really big, you know, ATST one comes out. Looks like a, you know, all-terrain scout transport from Star Wars. Anyway, definite obvious influence there. Anyway, and you got to kill them all the way up to the big one, and then that's completed the mission. Then you shut down the Sentinel pillar. You get a whole bunch of Quicksilver for it. Yeah, it was doing one of those missions, except for the Sentinel pillar was on an extreme world, extreme weather, like extreme radiation. And so I kept dying because of the radiation, because I kept like killing sentinels and forgetting to check my exosuit. So how did I approach the problem? Well, in a unique way. I just declared the top of the sentinel pillar to be my base, built one room, like one prefab constructed room, where I could go inside this little box and it would just keep refreshing my exosuit environment protection, and so that I could just keep blasting sentinels without having to worry about, is my exosuit being damaged by the environment, right? So that's a unique strategy that I was able to bring to the game because I have choices. And I feel like games like this limit your choices because they want you to feel scared. And it's not scary to me to have my choices limited. It's annoying. And this one is particularly poorly done just because, like, the revelations in it are like, ooh, boo. Like, I nothing this game. I didn't purchase it for myself. Russian hackers bought it for me. And so, is it a surprise that I don't like it? No, I guess not. I guess it's not really a surprise. Anyway, let me put a final score on this one. So, yeah, One Wish. How do we go on this one? Pretty easy. How am I going to go on a poorly made version of a genre that I don't even like to begin with? Super easy how I go on this one. I'm going a 1 out of a possible 10 Claires from Resident Evil. Yeah, at least I can recognize the quality in a Resident Evil game. You know, I can recognize the quality in other psychological horror and other, survival horror type games. This one, I just I feel like there's not enough to do for me to be even remotely entertained by the game. So, I would give it a 0 out of 10, but I think I have to give them a point for existing, I guess. So, yeah, they get 1 point for existing as a game in the universe. You could spend $5 on this, or alternately, you could roll up a $5 bill, shove it in whichever hole in your body you think could take a $5 bill, and that is money better spent. So, yeah, just do that instead. You'll have way more fun. Anyway, that will do it for this one, ladies and gentlemen. And I will see you in the next one. Okay, bye.